Welcome to the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. This episode is brought to you by Authors Unite. Authors Unite provides you with the support you need to finish your book. Best part is, after you finish your book, they take care of the entire publishing and marketing process 100% for you. So, if you want to become a successful author, make sure to check out authorsunite.com. Now, let's jump into the episode. All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Business Blast Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Wagner. Today, I have Joey Utah with us. He's a life and communication coach, online entrepreneur, and a military veteran slash activist for reducing the daily veteran suicide rate. So welcome to the show, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Glad to be here.
Of course, man. Glad to have you on. Let's dive right in, Joey. The first one I got for you today is, what is the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Okay, so fortunately I listened to some of your other podcasts, so I knew that question was coming.
Awesome.
But for me, I like to look at, in 2017, I was 3 years removed from being in the military. I had just hit my own personal rock bottom. You know, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I tried becoming a firefighter. That didn't work out. I tried working for a family business. That didn't work out. So I was literally at rock bottom. I'm very open with my story. For, most of my audience knows I contemplated suicide at a certain point in my life. And the value that I saw out of it was that, in telling my story, because that's what I was doing, I started using social media to tell my story and talk about my depression and what I was doing to overcome it. And I started getting all these messages from strangers and military veterans and all different people who were telling me, that in listening to my story and my words, I was helping them deal with their own problems and their own, adversity in life. And that's where I started putting together the pieces and saying, hey, maybe I got something here. I never calling myself a life coach per se. I never want to be that, motivational speaker, but it kind of just fell into my lap. Amongst my rock bottom, my own personal thing. So I always tell everybody, everything happens for a reason. No matter what you're going through, there's going to be some kind of value and something beautiful to come of it if you're willing to be honest with yourself.
Mm. And then, what is the most valuable piece of information we should know that's within your expertise or industry?
That's a good question. What I like to tell everybody is, whether you're selling yourself or you're selling a product or you're selling your services, it's all about just being yourself. I like to teach a lot of people. I do online sales, and I teach all of my new distributors about how to just be yourself. Just put yourself out there, be as authentic as you can, and your audience will relate with it. If you're one of those people who are in sales, or again, you're trying to sell your services, don't just, put your products all over your Facebook page. Show people part of your lifestyle, because I always say, and this is, the best value I can offer anybody, is people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. So in this day and age, with social media being what it is, and we all have the opportunity to do podcasts like this and to do Facebook Lives and to make videos. In doing those, people will relate with you, and they'll make a decision in their head, usually subconsciously, that I like this guy and I trust him because he's giving me good value in these videos or in his post or whatever it is. And because of that, they're more likely to buy from me or to subscribe to my services or whatever it is. So just be yourself, guys, and give people value. But don't try to force it, because people know. I always say, nobody likes to buy or nobody likes to be sold, but everybody likes to buy. So you just gotta give people a reason to want to buy whatever you're doing.
And then could tie in, but what is your best piece of overall business advice? So not necessarily industry specific.
Okay, so first of all, everybody should be clear on why they're doing something. If you're starting a business or you're starting a podcast, as you know, Tyler, you got to know why you're doing it, right? So once you have your why, your foundation, whether that is, I want to inspire others. My personal why is, there's 20 military veterans who commit suicide every day. And I base everything I do off of that, and there's days, as any business owner knows, where it sucks. You just don't want to, we all have weak moments, I like to call them, where we just don't want to do anything. And if you have a why and you're focused on it and you have it written out and it's something you're always thinking about, it's going to push you past those bad days, no matter what you're doing. Again, if you're sales, if you're trying to sell services, get in touch with your why, and that's your foundation for everything that's going to happen afterward.
And then kind of going a little bit down a different path is, in your opinion, what is the key to happiness?
That's a good one. So again, know what your why is, know what you're trying to accomplish in life. I think the key to happiness for myself, through my own depression, I realized I didn't have a job at the time. I didn't feel needed, and that's something a lot of people in the military feel when they get out. They don't feel like they're contributing to something. These are basic human needs, to feel like you're contributing, to feel important, to feel like people care about you, to feel connected. So whatever it is in your life that you feel like you can give back, that for me is my biggest need. Something that I rely on a lot is the need to give back to others. And, like I said, with the internet being with what it is, being able to do lives at any moment, you can always give some kind of value to somebody. And not only are you going to help others, but you're going to find yourself, to answer your question, you're going to find yourself being happier because you realize that you're potentially changing somebody's life for the better. And there's really no better, feeling that you can get than when you give to somebody else.
And what is the best book that you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from that?
So there's a book called The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's an excellent book about these 4 agreements that we all have with ourselves. I'm just going to hit on number 1, which is don't take anything personal. Because if somebody's an asshole or is negative or whatever, and they're being mean to you, you have to, before you let their toxicity, kind of overlap into your own life, you have to kind of detach and understand that they're living in their own hell right now. They've got their own negativity or toxicity in their lives that they're not dealing with right now. So instead of, I don't just say, fuck those people, just let them go, but have compassion. And, and that's something that really helps me a lot because I'm a very sensitive person. So when I do deal with people who are negative or who, are always coming up with a new excuse why they can't do something, I just try to relate with them. I try to see things their way, but I don't let their feelings, it's not, anything that I'm doing. It's their own stuff that they have to sort out.
And what is your favorite quote and why?
Oh, that's a good one. Favorite quote. I like don't take anything personal. I tell that to everybody. But there's an old quote that goes, you were not meant to hold this mountain. You were only meant to climb it. And there's a lot of people, including myself at one point, and I still do it sometimes, where we try to get to the top of the mountain right away. We try to, do everything all at once instead of just understanding that life is just a climb. And, there is struggles when you're climbing a mountain, when you're trying to start a business, when you're trying to start a podcast, where you might falter a little because maybe you're putting a little too much on your shoulders. Just stay in the present moment and just know that whatever struggle you're going through, as I said in the beginning, it's meant for a reason. There's some kind of value or growth that you're going to get out of it if you're willing to just be objective with yourself and to understand that, this pain I'm going through right now, it's going to lead to my greatness, to something, to me growing into something better that's going to put myself in a better position to help others.
Dude, thank you so much for coming on. The last one I have for you before we let you go is, where is the best place for people to find and connect with you online?
So you can go on the Joey Utah website, www.joeyutah.com. I'm also really active on LinkedIn. You can type in Joey Utah. And then Instagram is where I put a lot of my motivational stuff up. I'm at coach_Joey Utah. And hit me up on whatever, guys. I'm pretty flexible in my day, so I'm always looking to help anybody who needs it.
Perfect. Thanks again for coming on, man.
Thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate it.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.